Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to teamfortress.tv. I'm FrickMyNick, joined by the BILLDOZER.
Hello.
So we're going to be casting Dunk Masters versus Space Pirates tonight. Should be a pretty hotly contested match. Dunk Masters played Forward Gaming yesterday and went down 4-0 in the preceding half of the game, and then rolled back 4 straight rounds, and then unfortunately lost the game 5-4. So Dunk coming off a very, very close loss yesterday against Forward Gaming, who were on a hot streak previous to that, having beaten Cafe Monster and Not Interested, both 3-2. So Forward Gaming playing pretty hot. They continued the streak yesterday, barring those 4 straight rounds, but we'll see if Dunk Masters can pull off a little more magic tonight on the same map, Gully Wash, and pull out a big win against the Space Pirates.
Yeah, and I think that there's going to be a lot of important soldier play going on in this game. You know, you have a much more established soldier combo from Space Pirates coming out, as opposed to Dunk Gaming, who, you know, relatively unestablished. But, you know, before we get into that, I'd like to run down the rosters. Who do you have playing for us tonight on Dunk Gaming, Nick?
So the Dunk Masters, we have Shiny on Combo Scout and Phone on the Flank Scout. Joining Phone on the Flank, we have Daffodil as the Roaming Soldier. We have Jeff on Pocket. Maccabeus, he might still be Mark Carbine on ESEA. No, he's Maccabeus again on Demo, and they have Pablo or the Fridge on Medic.
And as for Space Pirates, we have a scout combo of Shamu and Catface. Our soldier combo is Rakuso on Roamer, currently aliased as CVS Pharmacy. We have Hayes on Pocket, and then we have Chunky on Demoman and Sky on Medic. And it's an interesting roster. You know, you have a lot of players who have been around here for a long time. Very specifically, Sky, Shamu, and Rakuso playing a few seasons on Velocity Gaming these past few seasons. And then you have players like Catface, Hayes, and Chunky trying to make a name for themselves and see if they can possibly find themselves a playoff berth this season.
Indeed. So we do have 12 in server. We are just waiting for the teams to ready up. I don't know if you want to run down some predictions really quick while we have a little bit of time.
Well, I was talking a little bit before we went over the rosters. This is going to come down to a really strong soldier performance because Shamu and Catface are no slouches. But I think what's really going to set it apart is can Daff and Jeff really kind of set themselves apart here? Can they stand up to a combo like Rakuso and Hayes, who really have a little bit more experience propping them up?
Yeah, this is Hayes' second season in Invite, and Rakuso's been playing Invite since, I believe, season 18 is what we looked up before this match. So Rakuso's been around for a long time. He's made a couple stints in Invite playoffs, so I guess the real big question, again, is whether the inexperienced players will be able to come forward and either out-mechanic or make the students the teachers, so to speak. So
yeah, and Gully Wash is absolutely a map where you can win off of good positioning. You don't necessarily have to exclusively just hit every single direct to win. You've got a lot of really tight choke points at just about every point, and a lot of high ground that you can try and hold that can make things more difficult for the pushing team. So yes. I'd like to see if Dunk can try and take advantage of that here, as we are about to go live.
Indeed. So just quickly running down the predictions. I think this is going to be a 5-4 game for Dunk Masters. I think they're going to pull out the magic.
I think you might be getting a little overly optimistic. I think that we're going to see Space Pirates take it 5-2. I think that what we saw last night, maybe a little bit of a fluke. And I think that Space Pirates are going to have their stuff a little more together.
Alright, so we are going to be going off to our first mid. Looks like both demos are going to be rolling out Choke. It looks like Mac is a little bit faster than Chunky. Chunky's going to be getting some early damage in the big door. Neither medic under a particular amount of pressure. Actually, Sky down to about 50 HP off a late sticky. Jeff going for a high bomb, making some space for his team. Just going to meet back up. The health on Dunk Masters is not particularly amazing. No buffs on the side of Space Pirates, but Hayes is going to be the first of the mid. Rakuso is going to bomb in as well. He's going to get dealt with shortly. All the projectile classes down on the side of Space Pirates. They are still trying to fight this mid. Mac is kind of separated from the rest of his team, but Catface is down super weak, playing the B. Shamu's going to go and pick off Maccabeus in the elbow area, but Catface and Shamu are the only two left on this mid. Nope, Sky is still with them, so they are getting bullied out Choke by in the Scout 2v1, but or the 2v2 Scout. And it looks like Space Pirates wants to contest this. They don't want to give up this mid. They are going to pop first. Fridge is going to milk this oop. Phone's going to stay out of it, and Shiny is just going to take the exchange. But oh, Shiny drops to the floor, and so he's out of this exchange, and Pablo's going to meet up with Phone, but it looks like the Space Pirates are getting all the room on mid here. Rakusa with a big bomb gonna find one juggle in phone as well. So it looks like after a very long contested point, Dunk Masters are gonna lose out the mid.
Yeah, I'd like to point out, first of all, we did see that Chunky was able to get a lot of early damage, about 100 points of it, onto Pablo. And the fact that, or excuse me, was it Pablo or was it Sky? It was Sky that went down to very low health very early. Macabeus managing to do that damage. And then we saw Catface playing the geometry beautifully, able to keep himself alive, able to get his med out, and that was what was able to let them push back in and take this midpoint. And now they find themselves in an alright position to try and crack this last point.
Yep, Daff went down here, and all the chaos that happened on mid, he was stuck behind. He's going to respawn shortly. It is even Uber. We're going to see the Phone Pyro and the Shiny Sniper for Dunk Masters to bolster their defense. Well, it looks like the Space Pirates are still running all cookie cutter classes. Probably going to make a play to try and force Pablo here. And Rakusa's already in. Gets a good first rocket off onto Pablo. He's not going to find another one. Phone Pyro's going to stunt that. Chunky's going to find the trap kill onto Daff, trying to counter-sack.
Yeah, and I'd like to see if Space Pirates are looking to possibly run any off classes. I know that Shamu is a pretty good sniper, for example, but I don't think it looks like they're positioning to try and change anything around here. We're just going to have Rakuso coming back up, and they're going to be able to take another whack at this.
Yep, and we're going to see some class switches on the side of Dunk. Shiny's going to pick up the Engineer Man, going to play some Tinker Town, and Phone's going to pick up... Oh, he's back on the Pirate. He was on the Sniper for a hot second there, however.
Yeah, I like Phone a lot. He's a really good player. I think he started to really make him a bit more of a name for
Catface
himself.
is making a play on the point. Oh, but they know about it. Phone hits him with a flare and burns him alive. Rakuso's actually in, gonna find a good first rocket, but Pablo with some good movement, gonna keep himself healthy enough and not have to use 2 down on the side of Space Pirates. We'll see if Dunk tries to make anything happen off this.
Yeah, you talk about the movement from Pablo. I'd like to talk about the ball.
Oh,
It's not popping there, as they are going to be trading now. You see Shamu and Sky body blocking Pablo as he tries to get out, and
Jeff's
looks
gonna
like
die as well.
Yeah, Jeff is just kind of caught out in the enemy team's combo.
Yeah, really good body blocking there on the side of Space Pirates to catch out Jeff, and Phone went down somewhere in the fray as well. And actually, Daff isn't behind. He's trying to make it back to last meet up with his team. He's going to make it out. He's super weak, though. And looks like a scout's going to be in on the point. And no one's going to come in and contest. And it's going to be a quick first round for Space Pirate.
Yeah, you saw Shiny take a lot of damage, actually managing to lose the 1v1 versus Catface, I believe it was, on the last point. And it meant that he had to back off, and they were able to finish that cap, possibly missing out on the chance to buy his team a little more time.
Yep, so we are going into our second mid. Both demos arriving at about the same time. Again, looking at the medics, this is a map where you can eat a lot of spam early. Both medics are about 90 health getting. Rakusa's actually up the other team's drop, but I don't think anybody knows about it. He's in on the Pablo. He's gonna beef the second rocket. He finds a good first rocket. Doesn't find a second, but in the confusion, Mac and Phone are gonna go down, and Hayes is gonna bomb back in. He's gonna secure the frag on the Pablo. Gonna see if Dunk can try and equalize the heal situation. Daff is going up drop, is gonna get shut down by Bull Scout. It's just Jeff alive in his own choke. He's just gonna be trying to live.
Yeah, the drop-down play from Rakuso was very good, and what was also important was the way that he played that choke and was able to keep anyone from Dunk Masters from being able to push into them and possibly, you know, claiming that early frag. And then it meant that he was able to push back in with Hayes. They were able to kill Pablo. They were able to kill Macabeus, and that sealed the mid for them. I'm really impressed with how Space Pirates have been playing the geometry of Valley Wash, because it can be a boon or a bane.
Yep. So we are gonna see. Dunk Masters trying to set up on their last. They have a Shiny playing the Engineer, has a gun on the right side from the defender's perspective. Oh no, sorry, Phone's on the Engineer, and Shiny is on the Pyro. So it looks like the Space Pirates are going to be gearing up Riverside. They're going to use around the corner, taking Shamu and Chunky, and Shamu's just going to run another point, trying to click the stick. The stickies are dead, and no one's going to come in and contest. And this another round going over the side of Space Pirates.
That was just poor point coverage out of Macabeus. You know, you had a lot of sticks on point, and that's good, but you got to be sure that they can cover everything. But, you know, it happens. I'm not going to say that he's bad because he messed that up.
Yep, so it's going to be a quick second round going to the side of Space Pirates. Again, both the demos kind of arriving early in the mid. Chunky eating a lot of damage early, down to about 80 HP. So is Pablo, and Rakuso's going to go up the drop down. Pablo went down to 6 HP. Rakuso's just going to creature around behind. Catface is going to collect the frag on the Maka being the first down, despite a lot of damage being traded early. Daff's going to go down as well. Dunk down 2 players, and they're all super weak. They're going to push back and get the kill onto Rakus. It's just Shiny, Jeff, and Pablo trying to leave, but Chunky, Shamu, and Sky are going to cut him off in the big. And Chunky's going to claim 2 frags, and Hayes is going to get the pick onto Shiny. Another mid-win, another dominant mid-win for the Space Pirate.
That was a cheeky little play called the Meat Grinder. What you saw was a bit of total domination as they rendered Dunk Masters completely helpless as they tried to get out of point. We're going to see if anybody can make some sort of hero play here, as you have actually, looks like you have Shiny and you have some soldier, my name did not show up, pushing out of the left side, but they're able to force out Space Pirates, but they are going to be holding the second point.
And they did lose Maka, however, it doesn't look like Space Pirates are going to be in a position to go before he spawns. He's going to get his spawn now. They do have a full Uber advantage, and it looks like they're gearing up to take the same Uber through river. Yep, it's the same chunky Shamu Uber. Rakuso's in on it this time, though. They're going to catch Mac. Poor positioning on his part. He's going to die to the Uber charge. Jeff and Daff are going to try and contest the point. They're going to find a pick on Chunky with the help of Phone, but the scouts are just going to play the point. It's going to be a quick 3-0 half for the Space Pirate.
Yeah, they actually had the Dunkmasters had the positioning advantage at the end there, and if it weren't for them trying to finish that cap, you could have seen them able to clean up those frags, because they did have both scouts and they did have them healthy. But you got to play point. It's a capture point game, and if you're not doing that, then you're not playing the game.
Yeah, there's a game of caps, so we are going to see the 3-0 half for the Space Pirates. What went wrong for the Dunkmasters on that?
Well, if I can be honest, it seemed like they were just getting out DM'd over there. They seem to know how they wanted to play their mid fights. They seem to know the plans that they wanted to execute, but it just seemed as though Space Pirates was doing it a little better than they were. And we can't really make too many assumptions off of or past that, because we haven't seen them getting an opportunity to try and push in. I want to say it comes down to confidence more than anything. This is their first season as a team in Invite, and they're still trying to fill out the shoes that they've been given and get comfortable, as we're going to go back into the second half now. Why don't you talk us through the mid as I look up any stats that need to be seen from the first half?
Yep, so we are going to be going live. The Dunkmasters did have the same scenario happen yesterday, where they did lose a half 3-0, and they were able to claw back 4 rounds eventually, so we'll see if they can pull off the same magic they found last night. Chunky's going to be beating Maka to mid this time. Chunky's going to be finding a lot of damage early in Big Door. Both the soldiers eating a bunch of damage early. Rakuso again up the drop then, and nobody sees. Phone's actually gonna see him, so they're gonna find a pick on a Chunky and Sky. The double bomb coming out of Dunkmasters. Catface is gonna trade out the frag onto Daffodil, but Phone's gonna kill Cat. Rakuso and Hayes are gonna be looking for frags. They are gonna claim the pick onto the fridge with the help of Shamu, but it's gonna be a wipe out of the side of Space Pirates. Dunkmasters picking up their first mid.
Yeah, one thing I do want to mention real quick from the stats, Shamu with 10 kills in the first half, and what we just saw in that mid fight was Sky's first death of the game, as it looked like Dunkmasters in that mid really cranked up the aggression. They were willing to walk forward and start clicking on gamers instead of, possibly waiting for the gamers to come to them, which is what we saw in the previous 3 rounds.
Yep, so we are going to see the Space Pirates trying to contest too. They're trying to go upper here. The Dunkmasters are going to be pressuring the... Hayes is going to bomb in and find Macabus. He's going to be the first... And Jeff's going to go down as well, along with Shiny, only trading out Hayes. 3 down on the side of Dunkmaster. And Rakuso's in from the big door, going to be bombing in, trying to find a pick on the Daff. Daff is going to go down, but it looks like Pablo's going to be able to try and escape through his team's big door. Doesn't look like anybody's chasing, so he's going to make it out to his team's lobby. But Space Pirates are going to be quickly coming back to the mid that Dunkmasters won.
Yeah, and that's the advantage that they grant themselves. I want to mention real quick, Dunkmasters are going to have the midpoint, and they are going to have a lot of forward spawns from that. We actually have Shiny in second point spawn, waiting to see on Sniper if anybody wants to push through.
Yep, and what was previously a very, very small Uber advantage for Sky has grown quite a bit, seeing as Pablo was the sole survivor of that push. Being alone, he was not able to build. We're going to see a really high bomb out of Daff, going to land on the choke and get the force out of Sky. And is Daff going to get out? Looks like Daff... Oh, Daff was almost able to make it out. And Hayes is actually going to die trying to collect that frag. And Mac is going to get a sticky trap on the Catface in the flank. So down 2 on the side of Space Pirates and no Uber. The Dunkmaster is going to be pushing back, and they don't quite have their Uber. Chunky's going to get Shiny with a sticky trap, but it's 4 versus 4, and Dunkmasters have an 80% advantage. But it looks like Rakuso and Shamu are behind. I don't think anybody knows. Rakuso's just going to be trying to play the back cap along with Shamu. Daff is in lobby. He's going to be able to stop them from going to last, but they are going to finish off the cap.
Yeah, that is a big problem for Dunkmasters. We're going to see Space Pirates able to take back this midpoint without too much of an issue. Still going to have a 50% add to Dunkmasters, and they're going to be able to use this to try and bully out the Space Pirates when they want to. Already positioning themselves to back out of this choke. But you're probably not going to see them able to get in here without popping, I'd imagine.
Yep, so the traps are going to be dead. It looks like Dunk has a relatively clean entrance. Pablo eating a ton of spam from the rollers. The Chunky finding a ton of damage. Pablo went down to about 30 HP, but it looks like Dunkmasters are going to get this mid. And barring a late soldier bomb out of Rakuso, it looks like Pablo is not going to have to pop. But the Ubers are going to even out. Sky is coming up on her Uber now.
Yeah, and that's a lot of great confidence out of Pablo, possibly giving his opportunity a real big, possibly giving his team a real big opportunity pushing into this second point. It would have before been just Space Pirates pushing back in. We're going to see him walking big door with his pocket right now. We're going to see if they can find themselves any free frags here.
Yep, so we're going to see Daff and Phone right in behind. It looks like Daff's going to win a 1v1 versus Hayes, but Catface is going to quickly trade out the frag. It's 5 versus 5. It looks like the Dunk Masters are kind of aggressive in their big... It looks like it's just Jeff here, however. They might be looking to try and take an exchange. I know Dunk Masters are quite fond of taking exchanges, so, but it looks like they are just going to back off and reset on mid.
Yeah, and I'd like to see... we're seeing some real aggressive spamming coming from out of the... Space Pirate soldiers, but I'd like to see some more plays coming out of... Actually, there's Phone going on to Sniper. Looks like he might be trying to peek this choke. I was about to say some more aggressive sack plays coming out of Dunk Masters, but we actually have a pick class coming up right now. Phone, pretty accomplished player.
We also have the Hayes spy, and Hayes is in onto mid. He's on the point, actually. He's in position. Pablo has no idea, and Pablo's going to drop his Uber. Hayes with the very quick switch onto spy, going to drop... Phone, or I'm sorry, not Phone. He's gonna drop Pablo there. Phone's still on the... We're gonna get a pick on the Shenmue,
Phone!
Despite the fact that he's getting Ubered into. Phone's gonna go down the drop down, delay his death a little bit, but the damage is done on the side of Dunk, so they are down 3. The Fridge is gonna get his respawn. It's gonna be about even. Uber Sky is about a 10% advantage, but Dunk Masters are down 2.
You're playing with the big boys now, Pablo. You gotta look out for that stuff.
Indeed, so we are going to see the Space Pirates pushing in from the choke. Rakusa is going to be making some space for his team. And it looks like the Dunk Masters are going to put a haphazard defense on 2, but it looks like Jeff's going to end up getting caught along with Nath. They're going to trade out the frag onto Hayes, but with both soldiers and a bunch of damage on across the board on the side of Dunk, they are going to elect to just give up 2 and hold last.
And this is certainly a familiar position, Nick, as we see Space Pirates gearing up to push in through this river area, and we're going to see Shamu immediately getting time on point, and Dunk Masters is going to struggle to be able to stop that as they get their 4th round of the game. Dunk Masters with 0.
Indeed, so Dunk Masters are down 4-0. Again, they were in this position yesterday, and they were able to pull some magic, but we are going to see if they can claw back and see what they did yesterday. Chunky and Mac are going to be about the same time on mid. Both Rakuso and Daff are going to roll out to their own floors. Phone's eating a bunch of damage early. He's going to go down to a rocket from Hayes. This is not good. And again, Rakuso up the drop down. Rakuso's going to get up clean, and Hayes is going to bomb it. With Phone being dead, Chinese pressure to try and handle both soldiers. And it looks like another mid for the Space Pirates, and Pablo's going to go down. Another convincing mid for the Space Pirates.
Yeah, we saw Phone go down early, which was not bueno, but then we saw a great bomb out of Hayes, drawing a lot of attention away from the rest of his team, who were able to capitalize on that and immediately start pushing forward, as we're going to have players already trying to get into last for Space Pirates, but you're going to see them back out and just finish the cap before they try and do anything.
Yeah, they're probably going to finish up the cap and wait for Sky to get her Uber. She's at 85% there. So we are going to see Dunk Masters once again on their last. They have the Shiny Pyro and the Phone Sniper, seeing if they can hold off another Uber push, but it looks like they're going to take the same Uber in, are the Space Pirates with Shamu and Chunky from the rivers. They're going to get a decent amount of stuff from the Pyro. Again, they're going to get in. Shamu trying to bait the stickies on the point. Mac is going to death. They're going to get a pick onto Rakusa. The collapse is going to try and come in from Dunk, but Phone's going to be the first down. And Shamu's just going to run back onto the point. Mac is trying to re-stick it, but his health is not good. Pablo's in with the Pablo. He gets the Uber, but he drops. Hayes got the rocket out at the last second. He had the medigun out, but he was not able to get. Space Pirates are going to get in onto the point, and they're going to make it a 5-0 match.
Yeah, well played by Space Pirates. You know, we mentioned before that Dunk Masters is a team that's relatively new to Invite, and I think it shows in the way that they play, and especially in the way that they react to things that happen in game. You know, they seem I wouldn't want to call them lost, because these are all fantastic players, but they just seem a little unprepared.
Yeah, it seems like the game plan that Dunk came with today, just whatever they brought, just Space Pirates were 100% ready for it, and the soldier aggression just punished whatever Dunk tried to do. Every time Dunk tried to make anything happen on the mids, Hayes and Rakusa were there to shut it down. Rakusa putting on so much pressure from the drop down behind their team, and Dunk was just never really able to find their groove. They were able to get the first mid in the second half, but beyond that, they never really had much control.
Yeah, and I'd like to say, you know, going off of this and going off of the Ford Gaming match last night, it mainly seems like it takes them a few rounds to try and figure out what exactly the other team's trying to do and how they go around it. But you saw once they came back from the half, the match was going a lot better for them. They seemed a lot more comfortable, and they seemed especially a lot more comfortable playing around the team that was in the server with them. And going off of that and going off of their match against 4Gaming, I'd love to see what they do in the future when they've gotten more experience with these specific teams in the division.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's really not a whole lot to break down from the stats. I mean, it was a 5-0 game, and Dunk, again, never really found their footing. I think the telling thing is that they didn't let Sky have a perfect game. Sky did have one death. I believe Daff got that kill. But again, there's just good stats across the board for Space Pirates, and kind of poor stats across the board for Dunk.
Yeah, and it was very well played by Space Pirates. I wish them the best of luck in this season.
So yeah, I don't know if we have anything else we want to cover, but I think that's all I've got for tonight.
Yeah, that's about it from me, man.
So this has been our cast of Dunk Masters versus Space Pirates. There is another invite match happening. We are not casting tonight. It is Ascent versus what is
not interested? Playing? I think
not interested.
Or was that last night?
Cafe Monster. That's what it is.
Oh, that should be a good.
So
game.
they're playing Cafe Monster. Yes. So that is happening right now.
Oh, it's 4-0.
It is 4-0 for Ascent. So yeah, I think that's all we got. Again, this has been our cast of Dunk Masters versus Space Pirates. Everybody have a great evening.
Have a good night.